Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Audio Video Room. And for those of you born after 1990, Audio Video Room was the room where the teachers would call down to and say, we need a video cassette player, or we need a record player, or we need a reel to reel, or we need a movie projector. And those of us that knew how to do that kind of stuff got to grab it, push it down to the teacher's room, set it up for everybody, then pick it up and take it back to the AV room. So I was the guy, one of the guys that pushed the AV cart. So welcome to the AV room, and this is our ongoing series for the month of October, where I'm going to cover some of my favorite horror movie or Halloween related releases, primarily on video, but on vinyl. But I'm going to cover, like I said, video. I'm going to cover video. I'm going to cover vinyl. I'm going to cover toys if I have it, or collectibles if I have them. And then hopefully I'm going to pop into these areas here, some pictures that help tell the story of whatever I'm talking about. So we're going to start off with one of my favorite things, which is Peanuts. I'm a huge Peanuts fan, always have been. Big fan of Charles M. Schulz. And when I worked at the Chuck Jones Gallery, I used to get to handle some of the letters or drawings or cells that he used to have associated with his projects. In fact, I used to actually, at one time at the shop, we had a series come in, and it was a series of letters that Charles M. Schulz and Dr. Seuss, Ted Geisel, would send back and forth to each other. They had invented an imaginary Navy fleet and would send letters back and forth, Admiral Seuss, Admiral Schultz, and they would draw on the envelopes. And it was amazing to even see that stuff. So, big time fan, long time fan. And what I'm going to talk about today is particular. Uh, it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown has been released a few times. This copy here, it was the first copy that I got. It's a Kraft Records release. Kraft put this out in 2019. It's a single-sided with an etching on one side. It's a mono release, and also came in orange, glow in the dark, and yellow and green. This version of this was released back in 2019 and contains audio that was lifted from the animated special. So this has dialogue and sound effects in it, which is pretty cool because the newer versions don't have that. This is the version that has that. The newer versions are from the reels, from the sessions. The newer versions, I believe, started coming out in 2022, and you can still get them. But we'll cover that in a sec. This is the 2019 single-sided release. There's the back of it, and here's the front of it. This has 17 tracks on it, including some second reprises: Trick or Treat, Linus and Lucy, Charlie Brown theme. This has the Linus and Lucy is what kicks it off, and then the theme is the graveyard theme, and that's what you hear during the opening credits when all the bats are flying around. This is an amazing release simply because it reminds me of those times back as a kid where I would sit by the TV with my cassette recorder, and I would do the audio on cassette tapes. That way, whenever I was mowing the lawn or going to school and I had my cassette player, I could listen back and relive those movies. So in a day and age of streaming, stuff like this brings me back to those times. This one is a really cool copy. Like I said, it's single-sided. This is the insert that comes with it. So it's that's where you would put your record. It's got an essay on the other side. The essay is from Derek Bang, author of Vince Guaraldi at the Piano. Vince Guaraldi was the artist who composed many of the Peanut specials. Vince did this one, and he called himself a self-reformed boogie-woogie piano player. Vince Guaraldi was born in 1928, July 17th. I was born on July 12th, 1970, so we're July babies. He died in 1976 at age 47 from a heart attack, so unfortunately he's no longer with us. It was a 1966 TV special directed by Bill Melendez, We'll come back to Bill Melendez in a second. It had 49% viewership the day that it premiered in 1966. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. Now, back in the day, they would run it every Halloween. Every Halloween on CBS, they would run this. And up until 2020, it was always shown on public television. Now, you can only see it on Apple Plus, Apple Streaming. So, Apple is the home of all these Peanuts cartoons now. Unfortunately, if you don't have Apple, you can't see it. You'd have to buy a physical copy of which you still can. So this copy, it's out of print. You can find it. It goes for about $30 on secondary markets. I'll show you the vinyl. It's on black vinyl with the Kraft logo, as you can see there. Nothing special about this particular vinyl. Simply black vinyl with the Kraft logo on one side and then the etching on the other. You can see it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. So don't try to play the etch side. I still kind of don't understand etchings. I mean, every now and then they're kind of cool, I guess. But I'd rather them spread it over the two sides and save your etching. But maybe kids today are really into etchings. Who knows? Now, the other copy I've got is It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, but on a picture disc. This is the cover. And then the disc fits in here and it folds out and it has SA. And then this is the other side. Similar artwork that you got on the other version. However, it's in a paper. And why it's in a paper is because this comes in one of those plastic heavy-duty polyline sleeves that off-gas and mess up your vinyl. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. You don't want those big, thick pieces of plastic that your records fit into. And a lot of times they're on picture discs or on some colored vinyl releases, but usually picture discs. I've noticed some Zoetrope releases have been coming that way as well. Zoetrope we'll get into later in a little bit. Yeah, get rid of those and put them in. Now, I just take those brown cardboards that come with your records when they ship them to your house. I take those pieces of brown cardboard and save them because in releases like this, I just put a new liner, stick that cardboard in there, and then put the record together. Now, I do still save the original, that heavy-duty PVC plastic. I just keep it in a closet. I've got all of them in a box with little stick-it notes saying what goes to what. But get them out of there. Not good. Not good for your records. Now, this one is pumpkin shaped. This came out in 2022. It's pressed by GZ Media. I know the beloved GZ Media. They're not all bad. Some of them are good. This one is dual-sided, so it breaks up those tracks. This is 33 1/3 as well. It's nice because as opposed to an etching on one side, you've got those tracks kind of spaced in the middle, and you can see the dead wax in the middle by the label, and then the outer plastic. So don't set your record player needle down and it'll be bopping around. You got to set it into this because it's just this middle section on these shaped vinyls, and you can see it there. This one was also released as a 45, and I think part of the reason for that is they wanted an more audiophile release for it. I'm still looking to track down that 45 RPM version. This is a remastered version. So this comes from the original reel-to-reel studio tapes. This is not taken from the cartoon. This is no dialogue, no special effects on this version. This version also came in colors, if I'm not mistaken. Primarily, you'll find it in this orange, but I know there is a white version out there as well. The white version might be sold out for now. I couldn't find it online. I was going to try and show you guys what these go for. Both of these copies on secondary markets go for about $30. The new version probably is around the same, $29, $30. You may see it in stores. I got this at Barnes & Noble near me back then in 2022. And so it's likely maybe now that we're in the Halloween season, you may see that white colored pumpkin shaped version. And it would be the same version as this. I just played it. You can see it in the opening of this video. It sounds fantastic. Sounds super fantastic, super clean. Slightly noisy sound floor, probably because of that shaped pumpkin vinyl, but it's forgivable. It's not overwhelming. Kraft puts out really fantastic pressings. I've yet to be let down by any Kraft releases that I've picked up. Um, while I'm at it, you can see behind me here this cereal box. I got this cereal box also in 2023, a couple years ago for Halloween. I was grocery shopping and I saw that they had this Charlie Brown. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown cereal. It was a vanilla flavored cereal with marshmallows. You can kind of see the cereal, what it looked like there. I ate the whole box probably in one sitting. I'm that guy who eats cereal for dinner. Don't have kids, so I can. Uh, on the back of it, you've got some games. You know, everybody likes to look at the cereal box while they're eating their cereal. And then there's the side. It's got a QR code on there for more fun and games. Maybe you can still scan that QR code. I don't know. You could freeze this video and try it. And then some nutritional facts, probably nothing nutritional about this. Now, like I said, I ate this cereal, but who knows? Who knows? See, they even advertise Apple Plus on the back because that's where you're going to see all the peanut stuff now is Apple. I mean, at least somebody's still doing it. Now, I've got a personal story in regards to It's the Great Pumpkin. Back when I was in art school, college in Detroit, Center for Creative Studies, that school was a sister school to the same art school that Chuck Jones, whom I'd later work for, had attended. And so they knew when I applied for that job, they said, "Are you at all familiar with the Chouinard Institute?" And I said, "Yeah, our sister school. I went to Center for Creative Studies in Detroit, and that was in California, the sister school. It's no longer called the Chouinard School. My Canadian pronunciation is Chouinard. We Americanized it, my family, and say Chenard. But yeah, so Bill Melendez and I had met. I was on my way home from art school, and there was a animation gallery called Gallery Animato right by my school. And as often as I could, I would try to pop in there and check out the animation cells for sale, custom pieces of art. Now, I had gone in that store following popping into a video store near me, and I had just bought It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown on Laserdisc. Also, I was that guy. So I popped into the Gallery Animato after I was at Thomas Video grabbing my new Laserdisc. And who do I see in the store but Bill Melendez? Now, I'm that guy that knows what these guys look like. It's just what in my brain, you know. So I ran back out to my car and I grabbed it and came back inside. And I was like, "Mr. Melendez, my name is Christopher. I'm an art student. I'm a big fan. Played Linus in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, touring in high school, and carried a blanket as a baby. My whole life I carried a blanket as a baby blue blanket. Identified with Linus. So Bill was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's weird that you would be carrying that around." I'm like, "No, I literally just bought it." Sat there, talked to Bill, got his address, phone number from him, stayed in touch with him over the years. And years later, when I was at the Chuck Jones Gallery, I acquired some stuff in regards to It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. Um, uh, I had a business card from Bill Melendez Productions. I'd show you here now, but it's at work. I keep my business cards in it. Maybe I'll put it in another video. But yeah, I also have this, which is an animation cell called Violet's Halloween Party. Now, this is not an actual cell from the cartoon, but a reproduction cell of the scene in the cartoon with the background. I've removed the glass so you can kind of see it a little better. But it is signed by Bill, and this is an artist proof. This is 8 of 15. So he signed 15 of these, and this is one of them. And I loved it because it's got all the characters in it, this famous scene. So that hangs in my house year round. It's out of, you can't get it anymore. A lot of the animation cell boom has all but imploded. They only had so many animation cells to sell. So the collector's market for them is sort of stagnant. But late 90s, early 2000s, it was exploding. And you could get stuff from all your favorite animated movies, TV shows. And I picked that up. Now, that piece today goes for crazy money, 2000 and up. That may be even more because the ones I found online were not artist proofs. Mine's an edition signed 8 of 15. So I miss Bill. He was a great guy, super kind to me. They hired me at the Chuck Jones Gallery because I knew Bill, also because I know a lot of stupid, worthless stuff, and I did great at that job because of it. But yeah, I'll have more stories about that later on. Yeah, so next up we've got Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, Nightmare Before Christmas, I was also a fan of, and I had quite an extensive Nightmare Before Christmas collection. You can see it there. That's my Nightmare Before Christmas stuff that I had in a little curio cabinet. My girlfriend at the time and I used to collect it. There you go. That is the faces of Jack Skellington, the model. I saw at a show once. I took a picture of that. And the year that this movie came out, I dressed up like Jack Skellington. She dressed up like Sally, and won quite a few Halloween costumes in those. And this was before Nightmare Before Christmas took off. It was somewhat of a flop when it came out. Very misunderstood film. They didn't know if it was for kids or if it was for adults. So a lot of us that were fans of stop motion, Mad Monster Party kind of stuff from Rankin Bass, really kind of latched onto it. So I collected Nightmare stuff whenever I could. Now, years later, I got into vinyl again after the pandemic and saw that they had released this. This is a Mondo version of the soundtrack. This came out in 2020. I think there was an edition of this was an edition of 5,000. And it has original art by Tim Burton. Now, at the time, you could get the soundtrack to Nightmare Before Christmas, but it didn't have the Tim Burton art. It usually has stills from the film as opposed to his drawings. And to my best knowledge, and now, while you can still find his drawings, like on the new Zoetrope edition that I'll show in a second, this entire edition has Tim Burton's art. So that's really what makes it the most unique, and the colorations, of course. Now, these are 33 and a third. Came with a clear and black cornetto vinyl that was Jack, and then a yellow and red swirl, which was Sally. This piece now, you can find it in secondary markets. Goes for about anywhere from 100, 150, 200 on the high end if it's sealed and unopened, but it'll set you back about 150 bucks. I think when it came out, it was like 60 bucks, like a lot of the Mondo stuff. It's a 2LP. This is the back of it. It does have an Obi strip on it. I'm kind of give you a close up of that Obi. There is the Obi. And then the back of it. I'll get better at this, guys. I promise. I'll get better. I'm not good at it now, but I'll get there. Hey, at least I wore the mic this time. Last one, yeah, oof, audio. Sorry about that. So I got the mic this time. But yeah, and it says also available from Mondo Tron Legacy. That's the one I showed in my other video, the Tron Legacy. So go check out that other video if you want. Yeah, it's a Walt Disney Mondo release. That is the jacket. Of course, it's a gatefold. I've got the shrink wrap on it. It comes with this insert. You can see that insert of Jack falling. And then on the back, it's got some information and then some more of Tim Burton's artwork. So that's really what makes this edition unique. Now, this has got 2 discs. Each it's 7 on side 1, 4 on side 2. Disc 2, it's got 5 tracks, and then the last side on disc 2, it's got 4 tracks, including the end title. This was mastered for video by James Plotkin, and the head of Mondo Music, Spencer Hickman. Spencer is the fellow that's running Mutant now. He's on Instagram. You can follow him. He's got a great feed. I just got the Alien Romulus suite from Mutant. Yeah, great release, great sound. What makes this version so unique is the sound quality. Sound quality is to die for on this. This is really why I think so many people want this. So here's the Sally version of the vinyl. And then the other side, a little bit more purple in that side. Yeah, isn't that a beauty? Isn't that a beauty? They had some gorgeous, gorgeous releases. So, like I said, this is a 2 vinyl disc edition. That's the first disc, or I should say, that's actually the second disc. This is the first disc. This is the Jack one. Jack is obviously the black and that white and that awesome. How cool is that? I mean, you can't get more Jack Skellington than that. That's about as cool as it gets. So while this is sold out, you can find it. I have seen them pop up from time to time on secondary markets. So, you know, if you're a fan of Halloween like I am, like many of us are, and maybe not so much into Christmas, this is very Christmas and Halloween to me, the back to backs, you know. So I love Nightmare Before Christmas. In fact, when I saw it at the movies when it first came out, I went back the same day. Well, first I went to Toys R Us and I bought all those toys I showed. And then I went back to the movie theater with my dad's camcorder, sat in the last row of the last showing. It's like 9 o'clock showing, videotaped the entire movie. This guy. So I could sit home while I was working on my artwork and watch Nightmare Before Christmas. I only did that a few times. I only did it for movies I hardcore loved, Nightmare being one of them. I also did it for The Crow. Remember The Crow? I also did it for Star Wars Phantom Menace. So yeah, if you ever wondered where some of those bootleg movies came from, it's guys like me. I mean, live, die, eat, breathe, sleep, movies, music, and TV. The other version I just got, many of you may have this as well. This is the Zoetrope version that was released. Um, Now, the Zoetrope version was released last year, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last year. And maybe it says on here. No, it doesn't. I don't see it. Made in Canada for what it's worth. I got this last year. I'm pretty sure I got this from Mike at the In Groove. Ordered it not knowing if it was going to sell out or not. It hasn't sold out. It is still being repressed. In fact, from looking over the Discogs entry for this one, it looks like you can get different animations on it. Some people were saying they've got some with Zero, the ghost dog, in it. I'll put some screen grabs around here of the Zoetrope. I'm not going to try to film it. I don't have that sort of patience. I have watched it and done it. You can do it with your cell phone. Some people say you can put a strobe light on it and see it that way and film it. Yeah, Google how to do it. And you'll see on YouTube, people have actually uploaded videos of this in motion. Now, this got the Tim Burton treatment on the back. See, so you've got his artwork on this version, and it's not his artwork on the front, but it's sort of a stylized version. And then there's the hype sticker. I'll put a close up of the hype sticker as well on there, but the hype sticker reads, available for the first time as a Zoetrope, featuring 4 sides of animated designs. And that's exactly what it has. Now, this is a gatefold as well. Artwork that you'll see reproduced on the inner sleeves. Now, this appears to be, yes, Tim Burton artwork on the inner sleeves. So the Mondo has all Tim Burton artwork. This has Tim Burton artwork. And there's the back of it. It's got the disc 2 info. Can you see that there on it? And then again, the mayor on the other side. And then the other has, oh, wait, see, do I? Oh, yeah, I have 2 disc 2 jackets. I don't have a disc 1 jacket. How about that? I just realized that. Same as the other one. So I'm actually missing the disc 1 jacket. Thanks a lot, Disney. Oh, man, that bums me out. This sort of stuff that bums out record collectors. Just realized that now for the first time. Isn't that horrible? Boy, I should write somebody an angry letter. So this is the Zoetrope. And one side is Oogie Boogie. And the other side is Jack. So if you can see here, it's got Jack and Sally and then the spiral. And when this spins around, it animates. And then on this side with Oogie Boogie, it's the same thing. And you can see Oogie Boogie there. And then those move. So it's like a cartoon. And I would imagine, aside from a novelty spin for adults, these are really made for the kids, maybe, new collectors. Now, these would look cool framed as well. But the audio, not great. It's not great. the Peanuts releases much better audio, but these do look cool. And there is the Jack and Sally one. So there you go. And these go for about $30. You can still get them. I was at Target recently and I saw that Target had a yellow and purple edition of the soundtrack out. $30, not bad if you don't have it. But you can get it on the Zoetrope. You can still get these. But if you want the soundtrack, I would just get the soundtrack. If you're into it for the music and with that music by Danny Elfman, I mean, you got to have the best version you can get because the music is fantastic. So that's my little Halloween episode for day 4. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. I've loved interacting with all of you that have signed up so far. I'm starting to add some shorts. Stay tuned at the channel. There's many more days of October left to come. I'm all booked up with tattoos for tomorrow, so it's going to be day 5 is going to be a little bit later after I get home from work tomorrow night. So it'll probably just be one title for that and a short one because I'm going to be tired. I'm 55 already, guys. And many of my audience are 50s to 60s, I see. So there's a few younger out there, but most of you are just like me. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And as Pac-Man always says, waka, 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 waka.